Hi, my name is Adil. I'm a distributed systems engineer. I've worked at a variety of different scales. Today, I'm here to share with you some experiences I learned from LinkedIn that formed the foundation of the company I started, Split Software. At LinkedIn, I was responsible for the algorithms and infrastructure behind LinkedIn's job recommendation, something that you may have come across in your experience with LinkedIn. Now, I joined LinkedIn at a very interesting time. I was, during my tenure, we moved from a monolithic architecture to a microservices world. Now that came with a whole lot of benefits, right? I mean, we moved away from from the monolithic architecture for the usual reasons that you're all familiar with. However, microservices world was not without its pain points, right? As this code over here will show you, it doesn't say it very well, but essentially every outage became a murder mystery, right? Debugging a problem in a 300 microservices world isn't easy. I remember this time when, as the person responsible for job recommendations, we updated our algorithm and accidentally started recommending executive assistant to the CEO jobs to CEOs, which was not taken very lightly. And I had to debug that problem, and it was very, very, very complicated in a microservices world. In addition, LinkedIn suffered from what I would call organizational constipation around software releases. It used to take a lot of time. Once a week, we would do software releases, and it was really, really hard. So we took a step back and said, well, why is all of this happening, right? What are some of the root causes behind these problems that we're experiencing at LinkedIn? And we came to many conclusions, but one key that would apply to all of you, which is our feature rollout or feature deploy was tied to our code deploy. What that meant was that the moment our code hit production servers, that's the moment that the feature that code made up was made available to 100% of our customers, which at LinkedIn scale was causing a lot of problems, right? I mean, suddenly, your blast radius for any given problem became all LinkedIn users. So how do we solve this? We turned to one of the simplest techniques in software architecture and delivery called feature flagging. We mandated that every single change that we were pushing to production should be wrapped in a basic if-else statement. If the feature is on, show it to customer. If it is not, then do not show it to the customer, right? I mean, it sounds very simple, it's very elegant, however, it enabled an incredibly powerful end result for us. It changed the way we viewed our product. We started looking at it as a series of features, not just as a whole product, but a series of features. Each one of it came with a dial in the cloud that we could turn and independently control. Now, what could we do with it? We started rolling out features while keeping them completely dark, right? What that allowed us to do was to continuously merge code, live code into production without caring about its impact on customer experience. We started rolling it out to whitelists of customers such as employees, just so we can do some QA in production, because real QA happens in production. We started rolling it out to percentages of customers, 10, 20%. So we could actually do perf testing in production, because again, real perf testing happens with production infrastructure and with production traffic. And lastly, we started, I'm a little ahead of my game, but we started rolling our features out to targeted group of customers, such as, like your premium subscriptions or something like that. So you could create targeted customer experiences for your customers, right? In addition, what we also ended up having, sorry, the slides are completely a little off, but just hear me. So the other thing that was really powerful was that this dial could not only go up, but it could also go down. If we detected any problem with a particular feature being rolled out, we could simply yank the dial back down to 0 and take that feature away from every customer. No emergency fixes required, no rollbacks required, right? And lastly, because every feature was being rolled out to subsets of customers, we could actually isolate the impact of that feature on the metrics we cared about, such as performance, right? Which was really, really critical. So I'll take a step back and give a summary view of what I'm saying. It's an axiom that your culture, your team's culture, impacts the product you build. And I would argue that it also goes the other way. The product you build impacts your team's culture. So this product, the way we built it, how did it impact LinkedIn's culture? First of all, it created a culture of no heroes. This whole idea that someone shows up with baggy eyes at 9 a.m. in the morning and says, I spent all night last night emergency fixing, rolling back software, that was actually frowned upon. That was not something that was taken like that's a good thing. The other thing was we became very agile. Any given change that we made, that we could think of that we wanted to make for our customers, we could test it out very quickly with a smaller set of customers, right? And then decide we want to abandon it or move on. And lastly, we got very productive, right? Because at the end of the day, we were able to give our product managers a hand in software delivery, and we were able to tell them, you want to play around with rolling features out or rolling features down, don't bother the engineers. Here's your dial, go do it. So in summary, I would say this is a very interesting way of looking at software development processes. And I would highly encourage you guys to look into feature flagging. Thank you very much, appreciate it.